Welcome to Speedy Walkthroughs, where we show just the important stuff to beating the game. For those watching for the first time, this will look different to a normal walkthrough. It's designed to show just the essentials so that you don't need to spend a long time watching this video. I won't talk about fighting specific enemies unless they're very difficult, but I will show you where to go and what to do. Today we're playing Impossible Mission, which is an exploration, puzzle, problem-solving game on the Sega Master System, although it was originally released on the Commodore 64. So let's make a start with basic game controls. You've got your standard moving left and right with left and right, and you can jump with the 2 button. You can also pull up this menu with the 1 button, and that helps you solve the puzzles in the game. We'll talk a bit more about that later. In the actual rooms themselves, you're going to be dodging robots and hopefully not getting hit by any of these robots, and then you'll press up to search objects. If you do get hit by a robot, that'll add 10 minutes to your timer, and you only have 6 hours to beat the game. So now I only have 5 hours and 50 minutes left to do so. You can also press up and down on the lifts to go up and down the lifts, and if you want to get to a new area of the map, you can go down to find new rooms. And if you want to get to another column of the map, you can go through a room to the next column. And that's how you make the whole map, and you'll get this whole green screen filled up eventually. Now you might notice, if you're playing this game, your map may look different to mine. And if I reset, then we'll find that I'll generate a different map yet again. So this will depend a little bit on what console you're playing on, but whenever you die or reset, the map will be different. On my personal Sega console, whenever I turn it on for the first time, the map is always the same, but when I die it does change to a different map. And this is the same for emulator. The map is always the same every time you turn on the emulator, but different emulators will have different maps. So this walkthrough is mainly going to show you basic strategies for playing the game rather than specific walkthroughs for a specific map, because everyone's going to have a different map here. So I want to talk about the kind of items that you can pick up in this game. This room has 9 objects that we can search in it, which is quite a lot for a room. This is actually the most in any room. And you'll see there's robots around the place trying to stop you from getting those objects. This room's pretty easy because you can just jump over the robots and they don't really hurt you, but if you do hit one, you'll die and lose 10 minutes of time. Now when you search an object, there can be nothing in there. The other thing you can get is a puzzle piece, which is really important. Now you need all 32 of these puzzle pieces to beat the game, and that's like your main objective. So make sure you're getting those puzzle pieces, but of course you won't know until you search the object what you're going to get. And then we have a couple of other things you can get from objects. So here we're going to get a lift reset, which is really handy because if you put yourself in a sticky situation with these lifts, maybe you've got them in the wrong spot, you can go to this computer here and go reset lifts, and it accepts because we got the lift reset, and then the lifts will go back to where they started from. So really handy if you mess something up, but you probably won't use them too much there. And the other object you can pick up is called a robot snooze. It looks like this, and this is probably the most important object in the game. So you'll notice here, I can search some of the objects in this room pretty easily, like this bookcase here, no worries. But if I try and search this object on the top, this robot has code where it will go towards you no matter what. So it's going to be really hard to search these objects without dying. There we go. So what we do is we're going to use the robot snooze, so we'll head down to the computer. And obviously try not to die on the way there, but we'll head down to this computer. And what we're going to do is go disable robots, and then we can just walk straight through the robots. They stop moving altogether. So that's pretty much required for searching some things, and there's no way we could get these items on the top without disabling robots unless you had some really quick reaction times, but it's often not worth the risk there. You saw that robot snooze there was on a timer, so it just ran out at the end there. What you want to do is activate it and then really quickly go and search everything in the room. Now if you do go to another room, it will wear off, so just try and get everything in the room that you're in and make the most of your robot snooze. Now you might run into some situations where there's objects you need to search in a room and you don't have any robot snoozes left, and in those situations you need to write down the rooms that you want to get the object from and come back to those once you have more snoozes. And if you want to know how many snoozes and lift resets you have, they're just in the pause menu here down the bottom. So I've got 0 snoozes left and 1 lift reset. Apart from these normal rooms, there are also some interesting rooms with these checkerboard pattern looking things. you have one room which is the grey one, and the other room which is basically the same, but it's a green one. Now what these rooms do is they'll give you more of either your snoozes or your lift inits. So remembering the snoozes stop the robots and lift inits reset the lifts. So I'll show you how to do these rooms. Basically it'll play some notes, and you got to play it lowest to highest. And if you get it right, the checkerboard does that, and then you've got your upgrade. So if we check in there, before I had 0 snoozes and 1 lift init, now I have 2 lift inits, which is really good. And you can keep doing this, although the only issue is now when we try it, there's going to be 4 notes, which makes it more difficult. So you have to keep track of the notes at play, and you want to play them lowest pitch to highest pitch in that order. If you don't get it first try, then you have to click this button down the bottom to exit out and try again. But these are really good for stocking up on snoozes especially, so I'd recommend stocking up if you find one of these rooms. Now, as I mentioned before, you've only got 6 hours to beat the game. You might be wondering what happens when you hit 6 hours, and I will show you. So you can see 547 just on the bottom there, and every time you die, you will add 10 minutes to that hour counter. So that could just look like this, a death there, and it puts us at 5:57. So if I waited 3 minutes now, the game would be over, although the easiest way to show you is just if I die, then this will happen. No good at all. And then you enter your high score and you go on the Hall of Fame. But of course, we want to actually beat the game here. And let's have a quick look at how to beat the game. So as you're playing, you might come across this specific room here, which has that TV looking thing on the bottom. And if you search it, nothing will happen. So what you need to do to beat the game is you need to get all 32 puzzle pieces, and then you need to go into the pause menu out in the lift area, and you need to be solving these puzzles by placing them in the middle and putting them together to make a complete piece. I'll show you that process. We're going to go through what a game might look like in a second, and then you'll see what the ending looks like there too. Okay, so now we're going to do a mock run through of what some of this game could look like. I'll only show the very first section because it gets pretty samey after a while, and your layout will be different to mine. You're going to go and see the first room and just see everything that you can get in that room. So have a look here. I'm pretty confident that I can get that object in the top right. So I'll go and get that. No worries. Now, this robot is going to chase me if I land near it, so that's no good. I can't get that oven object up there, so I'm going to have to leave that and come back to it later once I have a robot snooze. Now, it could be that nothing's in that oven object, but I don't want to take that risk of missing it, so I will remember to come back here. Let's head down. Second room we have is down here. And in this room, we've got a lot more objects to search. So I reckon that top left object we're going to have no luck with. But we might get a robot snooze in this room, so let's see what happens. Nothing there. Puzzle piece, which is really good, and nothing there. So we didn't get a robot snooze, and I don't think I'll be able to search that bookcase underneath me because that robot's pretty aggressive there. So let's head out of this room and see if we can make it to a robot snooze. Now when I head out of the room, I have died the 2 times. I'm trying not to, but this game's pretty hard, so sometimes it happens. Try not to die too much because you will run out of time eventually. Alright, so I can search this desk here. Great. Nothing. But I can search here. And yes, we get a robot snooze finally. So that's really good news for us. We'll search this as well while we're here in a puzzle piece. That's fantastic. And let's head out of this room. Now, I'm going to go back up here because this is the room that I needed the robot snooze in, and now we'll use the robot snooze and get all these objects. And with robot snooze, you don't need to try and dodge the robots, you can just run straight through them once you've got that active. So nothing there, which is a shame. Let's see what we got here. Puzzle piece, fantastic. So it was worth using that robot snooze. It was a good idea. And we've still got that room up the top of this elevator, which we need another robot snooze for. But if we check now, I've only got no robot snoozes left because I've used up that one that I picked up. So we won't be getting that oven object yet, but I will remember to come back to it. And we're just going to head down to the next section here. And I usually work top to bottom or bottom to top and just start seeing the rooms that I need to go into. From here, it's just going in, getting robot snoozes and trying to get everything searched so you can have all 32 puzzle pieces. Once you got 32 pieces and you found the final room, you can stop there and we'll put together the puzzles. Once you've done most of the game and got all 36 puzzle pieces, all you need to do is solve the puzzle and then get to this room to finish the game. I'll go through solving the first puzzle piece and then show all pieces done in fast motion, but it's a bit of a process and it's probably the most confusing part of the game. So you'll get this menu here. You do have this phone option, which you can do either of these two things. They're usually not worth it, so I wouldn't bother. Basically, what you're going to do is scroll down this list and then you can place any piece that you want on the puzzle. When you got that piece selected, you can flip it vertically or horizontally. You can also change its color to any of the colors. You can undo a previous turn by hitting the exclamation mark, and you can trash the piece by binning it. That doesn't get rid of the pieces that you have, it just gets rid of the piece in your working space here. So your working space here, you've got 4 spots, 1, 2, 3, 4. So generally how I'll solve a puzzle is I'll start with a piece that is really unique looking. So for example, we could use, once I find it, this piece here. That's pretty unique looking because it's got the big bulge on the right hand side and then the little thing coming through the top there. The left hand side is completely empty. So let's look for some pieces that match this. Keep in mind there can be different colors and different orientations on the left. So I'll scroll down, that doesn't really seem to match. Something like that, probably not. Probably not. No. Maybe. Now that one definitely matches. We can see this outline of the bulge there, and then that's going to match. So basically what you want to do here is you want to use 4 pieces to completely fill this in with, it'll be green. And then once you fill it in, you've done that puzzle, you're going to get 1 letter of your password. So let's see, if I try and just do this, it doesn't match because, well, it's flipped the wrong way and it's blue. So let's try and flip it. Okay, well that's a lot better. That looks like it will match, but if I click it, colors must match. So now we change our working puzzle to blue, and then we're gonna put that piece in. So you can see we're filling it out and it's almost fully filled in. In fact, that piece we were looking at before, this one here, it looks like it could fit in there. So let's turn this into green. And then we're gonna put this green piece in. And there we go, that's fantastic. So that's 3 out of 4 pieces done for this bit. And then let's scroll down. Can we find something? Oh, that looks like it matches pretty well. So let's change our working piece to blue. Don't even need to flip it at all. There we go. Now, you'll notice that puzzle is sitting there and it's not really doing much. Sometimes if your puzzle doesn't complete when you fill it in, you need to change the vertical and horizontal orientation. So I'm going to flip it once. That didn't work. Maybe I'll flip it horizontally. Great, that worked. So you can see password, we've got the letter B there out of that puzzle. We've also lost those 4 pieces. And then once we've done the whole of all the 9 puzzles, we're going to lose all of our pieces and get the password. The password here is going to be Blackbird. I have seen it be Tweety Pie before. I'm not really sure why it's different in some instances. So you're going to do 9 of these puzzles just like that. You're going to get your password and then you'll be all done. Just make sure you do have all 36 pieces before you start, otherwise it's going to be a bit of a headache. Okay, so now I'm going to show these puzzles pretty much all in fast motion, just so you can see what filling them out looks like. Now do note that you can multitask here, so we can have a few different puzzles on the go at the same time, but I've chosen to just do the one in the top left there for demonstration purposes. As we can see here, we got a bit of multitasking going on just to speed it up a bit. That way you can have a few on the go and be looking for multiple pieces that can fit, although it can get a bit more confusing this way when you do it. And there we go, Blackbird's password. We go in and we hit up on the TV. That'll win the game. One of the best endings in video game history, in my opinion. So that's Impossible Mission. I hope you found this walkthrough useful. It can be pretty confusing when you first play this game, but once you get used to it, it's pretty straightforward. If you enjoyed this content, a subscription is always appreciated, and I should have more coming out like it soon. Thank you for watching.